going on? What is going on? We are live. What is today? July 20th, 2025. It's Sunday. It's a good day so far, man. And we're not going to keep y'all long today, but we are going to have a good show. For those of you who don't know, I am Dave, a 10-year intellectual property, dealing with everything from patents, trademarks, copyrights, as well as trade secrets. Again, we're going to have a good show today. I do want to kind of plug the Peace, Love, Intellectual Property. Go check it out. I have shirts that I am making available for purchase. The link is down in the description section. Or hopefully when Brandon comes in, if he comes in today, he can kind of pin that link to the top of the chat. I get stopped in these shirts all the time. I was just at the gym earlier today working out, and a gentleman walking up the stairs, he just kind of, he kind of pulled me like, I like that shirt. So game recognized game. You're going to get stopped a lot in this shirt, which is probably going to be a good thing. You probably shouldn't buy it if you do not like people stopping you, telling you they like the shirt. But to the extent that you're a business owner, and we're going to talk a lot about business today, you may want to stop this, purchase a shirt. It's a good way for you to be able to get stopped, tell people about your business without having to go up to them, kind of solicit to them the business and what it is that you got going on. So I did want to kind of make available for that. Peace, Love, Intellectual Property. The shirts are available. The shirt that is available for purchase is a little different from the shirt that I got on. My shirt that I got on has my logo, the SC logo here, but the Peace, Love, Intellectual Property shirts that are available for purchase do not have that logo. I'm following a trademark on this one, so hopefully that trademark gets allowed. I'm practicing what I preach these days. I come on here, talk every day about copyrights, patents, trademarks, trade secrets. Well, I have the shirts, couple shirts that are, or terms, slogans, whatever the case may be, that I have filed trademark applications on. I have some stuff that I'm working on a patent. I have a tool that I'll be coming out here with that is, I'm going to keep as a trade secret. And obviously these videos, I have some books and stuff that I'm going to be announcing here in a little bit more. That's copyright. So I'm practicing what I preach. And, a big part of that is, the shirts. So definitely go check out those shirts, man. Now, today's show is going to be called American Dream. Jay-Z had a song that I love on American Gangster album called American Dreamin'. And is the American dream alive and well? We're going to talk about it. I'm going to make my cases why today it's no better time today than to start a business, to make money off your business. I think I was looking at something, it was either earlier today or yesterday, about UPS. Now, a couple years ago, they were just announcing this big, UPS had agreed to some crazy amount paying the workers, $140,000, whatever the case may be. Now, they are offering buyouts to workers. I think you get $1,800 per year service. So you've been there for 10 years, you can walk out with $18,000. I'm not here to talk about whether or not that's good or bad. However, I think that this is you're going to see this more where companies are laying off, cutting staff. We saw with Microsoft laid off 9,000 workers. Amazon, or not Amazon, but UPS is looking like they're going to be kind of starting layoffs here in a second. And to be honest with you guys, and I actually work on patents. Now, I'm not going to say for what companies that are doing things automatically or automating the process. So there's no humans or very few humans that are needed to work assembly lines and things like that. So people who are working in factories, people who are, again, UPS worker, where you see a lot about this self-driving, where you're dealing with kind of robots and machines and things like that, that don't complain, that don't ask for time off, that, maybe get a little stuff wrong here and there, maybe get some accidents. However, it saves the company a ton of money. So you're going to start seeing these machines kind of more and more going forward, not only AI, artificial intelligence in the software sense, but also in the physical sense with robots and self-driving cars and things like that, which kind of begs the question for me that I want to answer for you guys today. American Dream. Is the American Dream alive and well? I'm going to play a couple videos. The first one is from your boy, Dave Ramsey. For those of you who don't know Dave Ramsey is a gentleman who talks a lot about finances. He talks a lot about, saving your money, not overspending, not getting loans out. And Fox Business was asking Dave Ramsey, hey, is American Dream, we all hear about this artificial intelligence, AI taking over everybody's jobs. Is the American Dream all alive and well, or is that dead? And I think Dave Ramsey, he gives a good answer to it that I want to play for you guys and kind of give you guys a little bit of my thoughts. So let's go. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. Say hello to me if you are here in the chat. Let's see what Dave Ramsey is saying. Let me make sure I got this on 1X. I know sometimes, there you go. See, I watch this stuff on 2X, but let me turn back to normal. Let's go.
business, and who better to talk to about that than Dave Ramsey. Dave built his business from the ground up, and he recently released a new book on the topic. And Dave Ramsey, who I've known for 20 years,
you're gonna play a little bit of
now.
this.
All right, Dave, let's get on with it. What's your basic advice to a youngster trying to build a business? The first piece of advice you'd give to him.
You know, this is the greatest time right now in America in the history of the human race to start a business. And a whole bunch of the Gen Zs
you guys
and
check
millennials
that
are
out?
opening businesses.
He said,
they're turning their side hustles into.
Look it, he said this is the best time in the history of the human races. When people are kind of talking about AI and pouring all this fear into you about it's the end of humankind, which that may be for another reason, but AI is going to take all our jobs, or whatever the case may be. Dave Ramsey is telling you this is the best time in the history of human race to start a business. Take heed, folks. Take heed. Let's play a little bit more.
Into real businesses, and I'm just really excited about that. We tell them to go slow, be wise, don't be rash, and don't borrow a bunch of money into your ideas, because a lot of your ideas suck.
What's going on, Kim?
A lot of my ideas have sucked. I'm convinced that about 90% of what we've tried at Ramsey over the last 30 years sucked, and about 10% worked. And you don't know in the morning when you're on the walking trail which one it is. But by the time you put it into the marketplace, the customers will tell you. And if you borrow a bunch of money into it, you end up paying payments on stuff you threw in the dumpster.
Don't borrow. I get more into that.
So that's the first one. Dave is always going to tell you do not borrow money, which again, I'm not going to say whether that's right or wrong. Like I said, I'm coming out with a product right now or a couple products, a tool as well as a physical product. And I'm actually pouring a lot of money, my personal money. I'm talking about thousands of dollars into it. I may take out a loan, but for the most part, I want to have my own skin in the game and my own money into it. So again, I'm not want to sit up here and say whether or not Dave Ramsey is right, even though he made a ton of money building his business off not taking loans and spending the right way. However, the thing that I did want to capture or point out to you guys that he said today is the best time in human history to start a business, and I can't agree more. Look, I'm a patent attorney, and I make good money. I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars being a patent attorney, and I still am not relying on my job to not change 5-10 years from now. And I'm doing other stuff. I'm doing this media stuff, which helps me out on the patent attorney side. I'm doing, again, physical products. I'm coming out with books. I just talked about the shirts. We're coming out with tools on the intellectual property front that's going to help people. So I'm not relying off of my job per se in its entirety. I mean, I have real estate. So again, I think Dave Ramsey is right in that now is the best time to start a business. Another one that I did want to talk about or bring up here quickly, your boy Kevin O'Leary, which is Mr. Wonderful. You guys may have known Kevin O'Leary as Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank. He also said something about the American dream. Let me see if I can kind of get to what he talked about. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this, man. So let me know, Kim, what you think about things in the comment section, or whether or not you have started a business, you plan on starting a business. Anytime you start a business, my whole thing is to make sure you protect the intellectual property, whether it's patents, trademarks, copyrights. If you have some trade secrets, a lot of people are starting restaurants. Keep those, those secrets, those secret recipes and things like that, that kind of gives you that economic advantage over other restaurants. Keep that stuff as a trade secret. And there's steps that you have to do to keep those as a trade secret. So all this stuff with regard to starting your own business, intellectual property is heavily involved. You need to make sure that you're going about things the right way. So to the extent that somebody's starting a business, definitely share the podcast, share what I'm doing over here so that they can kind of look at this IP and go about it the right way. So let me kind of pull up what Kevin O'Leary talked about with regard to the American dream. And let's go. Let me make sure I have this one. See, man, I'll be watching this stuff on 2X. So we got it back to the normal speed. Let's go.
Sport. Everybody wants to come to America to be an entrepreneur. That's still the case. So I'm still extremely bullish on what American entrepreneurs can do, and which is why I fund so many of them. And policies change, times come and go, but the essence of the American dream is to run your own business. Very often it's a family business. Take control of your own life, work like hell, and when you're successful, you're free. You're free to do whatever you want. Most of us just keep working because we love what we do. But that was always my motivation. Where can I go in the world where I can do this and provide for my family and grow something and enjoy my life in the ways I want to? That's America. And right now, it's being realigned to do that again. And of course, policies are always debated as politicians go back and forth. But the essence of the American dream is intact, even in New York City.
Even in New York.
So again, and I agree with Mr. Wonderful. So for those of you who don't know, Mr. Wonderful is one of the sharks on Shark Tank. And both of these videos just came out over the last couple of days. And he too talked about really AI. Because again, we talk about AI and these layoffs from big companies, whether it's the government, whether it's UPS, whether it's Microsoft, these tech companies, Facebook, whatever the case may be. But he's saying really in the essence, the American dream or artificial intelligence is kind of pushing America to be what it's great for. And that is for you to start your own business, protect that intellectual property, and thrive as a result of that. And really, you can start your own business, leverage AI to help your business run as lean, as efficient, as effectively as possible so you can make more money and really enjoy the good life. I was talking to a gentleman. He was on Shark Tank. His name was, he has the product Air Tulip, which is like a headboard that kind of blows air so that when you're sleeping, it's like an air bubble. So you're not breathing in these air pathogens. And he just so happened to be in Michigan at his facility. This had to be a couple months ago. And we actually had the chance to catch up for dinner. And his name is Arjun. Go check out that interview with Air Tulip. Like I said, he was on Shark Tank. And him and I were talking because he's from Europe. I think he's Dutch, but he's from Europe, but he's here. He stays in like New York or whatever. And he was talking about how, and this is the difference. You guys have to listen to me. This is the difference is what makes America greater than any other country on the face of the earth. So he was telling me he is from Europe and that in Europe, they kind of shun you or look down upon you if you try to break away from the pack. In Europe, everybody is working, doing the same thing, which it seems to me is a boring life, but that's kind of everybody's in a rat race. And if you're trying to escape the rat race or start your own business or start to get a little bit too successful than everybody else, people kind of look down upon you as a result of that. Whereas in America, we kind of celebrate you. Now, once you get to the top, we may don't like you, but as you're making that climb or have broke away from the rat race, a lot of times us in America, we celebrate you. Hopefully we support you. Most of the times we support you as a result of it, especially if you have a good product, good service, whatever the case may be. And that's what differentiates America from other countries. And I think artificial intelligence, AI, is going to get us back to our roots in that way. I know a lot of people are scared and think that this is the end of civilization, but much like the dot-com burst, the dot-com back in 90s, 2000s, whatever, just like when Google came along, I think this is going to be a similar thing where it's going to help us, especially Americans, because not everybody has that same opportunity. When you go to China, they're not just starting business left and right and thriving. When you go to countries in Europe, again, that's not a thing for people to just start the business and be able to kind of make money off of it. But America, which again, hence the name of the show today, the American Dream, you can start your business and you can leverage AI to make stuff run as clean, not as clean, but as efficient and as effective as possible so that you can make more money and protect that intellectual property and then really go and have a good life. So again, that's kind of my ploy. I mean, that's, I guess, my 2 cents as it relates to the American Dream. Like I said, we still have a full show for you guys. We're going to talk about Buy It Now, Alligator Alcatraz, which is, I guess, the new detention center, let's just call it that. People, they're sending, I think, immigrants or whatever to. Seems like somebody filed for a trademark on that. We're going to be talking about Tyler Perry. He was sued by a nonprofit over one of his new shows, and it seems like he maybe have lost that one, so we'll talk about that. And look, we'll talk about the interview of the week, Thompson Tee, which was on Shark Tank, almost 10 years ago. We're going to talk about these fast chargers and these electric vehicles. And we are going to end with the lawsuit of the week, Disney versus a Chinese company. So again, we have a lot to get off into. Please hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm, as well as hit that subscribe button to the extent that you haven't already. And man, we're going to go to Buy It Now. So Buy It Now, and I've been starting to do these shows more and more. I think this is on the 3rd episode or the 3rd week that I've been kind of doing these videos, some of these reaction videos similar to that I do with the Shark Tank videos. And Buy It Now is almost like Shark Tank, but it's really a different feel. And I like where it's going on. I'm not sure how I felt about it early on, but I'm starting to kind of get into it. So they have a host. I know Shark Tank, you have the guy, or you have the guy, the business owner, then you have the 5 sharks, and they're trying to do a deal. Buy It Now is a little different. They're not trying to necessarily get a deal with the panel. You have a game show host like Steve Harvey, but they got JB Smoove as a game show host. The business owners pitching to an audience of 100 people live, and you need 10 out of those 100 people to essentially vote yes that they will buy the product as a business owner is pitching a product. Then you go to the panelists of 3. You need 2 out of those 3 panel members to give you the thumbs up for you to go on Amazon's Buy It Now show. So Amazon is leveraging their buy-in market to be able to kind of create this show. And like I said, to the extent that the business owner gets 2 or 3 yeses on the panel, then they go on to this exclusive Buy It Now market where they can kind of sell essentially their product to the masses. Then I think they also get into a raffle to win $20,000 at the end of that episode or at the end of that show. So that's essentially Buy It Now. I did think they had some cool products, which I'm gonna bring up 2 of them, man. And this stuff, look at the Buy It Now. It's pretty cool. So one of these products that I actually like that was on the season that I just recently broke down. Go check out those reaction videos. Is Save Pod. Man, I'm telling you, man, we are so creative as people, and there's still a lot of untapped products out there, untapped businesses, services that people are providing for you to really take advantage of. This guy, he's literally made, so for the coffee drinkers, and I'm a coffee guy, but I'm not necessarily a coffee guy as it relates to the pies. But apparently these coffee pies are very expensive. I think he was saying that like 40 to 60 pies for like $100 or something like that, some crazy number. But so right here, he has a reusable pie machine that he's invented where you see the white filter. You put the white filter up top there. You see the ground coffee below. Use this silver scoop out the ground coffee into the filter that's in here. It's going to brew your coffee. And then essentially, you get a nice cup of coffee that's made here to the left. Now, the machine to the left is not included. What he invented here is just this apparatus to the right of it. He got a patent on his apparatus. Again, it's a recyclable coffee maker. That's why it's called Save Pod. So again, shouts out to the gentleman from that. Another one that I thought was interesting that I did want to talk about, and I really like this product, especially for kids. And somebody told me a long time ago, man, if you make products for women and kids, you are well on your way. And this product that is on the Buy It Now store, please go check out my reaction videos to each of these episodes or each of these businesses. These are essentially soap for kids. Now, I have a daughter, and it's like picking teeth for her to consistently get her to wash her hands. Let me know in the comments if you guys have kids or grandkids where it's kind of tough to have them wash their hands. Well, this soap is pretty cool to help kids want to wash their hands. It's called Splats, which is like a little bubble that they splat on their hand, which again is shown here. And now they can rub their hands with it and essentially wash it. So it's more of a fun way for kids to wash their hands. Here's what's the name again. You scoop one out, you pop it in your hand, which the gentleman is going to do. And you kind of obviously at that point, it's like soap. You kind of rub it in, wash it for 20 seconds, then rinse it off. And there you go. So look at those were 2 of the businesses that were on Buy It Now on the Amazon platform. Go check out those full reaction videos that I did. I thought they were pretty cool. So guys, let me know what you guys think of that as we move on to our next subject. Alligator Alcatraz. Let me kind of cue up this video. Now, I don't want to turn this into a political thing, that's for sure. But I do want to kind of provide some commentary. So it seems like, let me tee up this video really quickly. This is going to be an interesting one. So I'm telling y'all, man, anytime somebody comes out with something that hits the news, you better believe, and I want you guys to think like this. I don't want everybody else to be able to take advantage of these situations while the average person is like, okay, what happened while somebody's made money? We talked about maybe a while ago, probably a couple months ago with Jalen Hurts. They was doing a Super Bowl parade. Philadelphia Eagles won a Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts is a winning quarterback. He was on a parade bus with a shirt that called Love Hurts. And before the parade bus ended, somebody had already filed for a trademark application on that. Well, it seems like this is a similar case. Alligator Alcatraz, like I said, it's a detention center for immigrants. I don't want to get off into the political side of things. However, I do want to talk about how somebody has filed for trademark protection on the term Alligator Alcatraz, looking to capitalize off of it. So let's kind of play this news article. I'm gonna bring you guys my thoughts. Let me see. Hopefully it didn't go. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna bring you guys my thoughts, and then I would love to hear from you guys in the comment or in chat. So feel free to
a group of local men are determined to turn what many see as a negative into a positive opportunity.
That's why they have filed to trademark the name Alligator Alcatraz in 2 different categories to reclaim the story on their terms. News4Jax reporter Khalil Maycock here in studio. Khalil, one of the men you spoke with says this is his way of fighting back.
Yeah, so Eric Battle says at first he...
I do want to say that's BS. I don't think that you're filing trademarks to fight back. Again, anytime you're filing trademarks, in my opinion, you're trying to make money. Whether you're for-profit company or a non-profit company. So I think this guy, and this guy is an African-American guy, so shouts out to the African-American the gentleman for filing for trademark protection. But I think his reasoning is a little off. I'm gonna let you guys know that the reason why I think that at the end of it, but just kind of pay attention to why he said he filed for the trademark Alligator Alcatraz. Let's go.
Felt helpless seeing everything that was happening in the Everglades, especially with the Republican Party of Florida already profiting off the detention center, selling things like t-shirts with the facility's name on it. So he wanted to file a trademark in a different area that would potentially block what he calls other hate merch from being made. This is a screen grab showing Battle filed to trademark the name Alligator Alcatraz this week in Class 28. If approved, it'll allow him to own the name for toys, board games, and some gym equipment.
So look at, for those of you who don't know, when you file for trademark protection, you have to file for what class you're going to protect the trademark in. You don't file for trademark protection, you get protected in everything under the sun. You have to let the United States Patent and Trademark Office know what class you're going to be using a mark. Are you using it for clothing? Are you using it for electronics? Are you using it for food? It seems like in this case, he filed for class 28, which is board games and gymnastic equipment, which I think is wild to say gymnastic equipment. I understand that toys and board games to the extent that that's what he planned on using it for, but that's weird that he says gymnastic equipment. So that's kind of the classes that he filed for it in. Let's go.
Battle says he came up with the idea after seeing images like this and not feeling right about it. This is the makeshift detention facility in the Everglades for those who are accused of being in the country illegally, where people are sleeping in cots behind fences and conditions at the facility have come under scrutiny. Instead of staying upset about what he called bad treatment of immigrants, he wanted to make a difference. So if approved, he wants to create toys under that umbrella that will be educational.
We want to make toys. That's what we're going to start with. We want to make toys that inform children and adults about the destruction of the Everglades. We want to tell a story through the toys for children. Eventually, we'd like to have stories that the Miccosukee tribe could tell through these toys to children. These proceeds would go back to the Miccosukee for land buying, all sorts of stuff like that.
I also asked him what type of message he hopes filing this trademark sends, and he had this to say.
We're not going to allow you to use toys to mock human beings. I don't care if you believe they shouldn't be here, they're here illegally. I don't care what your politics is. We should not be using imagery to mock this stuff.
Battle says he hopes more activists try to buy trademarks for names that could be harmful and turn them into something positive, and to be
Welcome to the future of press wires. EIN Press Wire. Everyone's internet news press wire.
Clear, he said the name of the toys wouldn't be called Alligator Alcatraz. That name is still being decided. News4Jax reached out to the governor's office.
So listen what he said, because this is important when I break it down.
That name is still being decided. News4Jax reached out to the governor's office. He hopes more activists try to buy trademarks for names that could be harmful and turn them into something positive. And to be clear, he said the name of the toys wouldn't be called Alligator Alcatraz. That name is still being decided. News4Jax reached out to the governor's office and the Republican Party of Florida for comment on this story. We'll keep you updated if they respond. Khalil Maycock, Channel 4, the local station.
So I have a couple things that I do want to bring up and talk about with this. Number one,
a group of local men are determined to turn what many see as a negative into a positive opportunity.
That's why they have filed to trademark the name Alligator Alcatraz.
The whole point of filing a trademark is telling the USPTO that you're going to use that trademark in commerce. This is why I think this is kind of BS, because he's talking about at the end that he filed for the trademark Alligator Alcatraz for toys, gym equipment, gymnastic equipment, board games, whatever the case may be. But then he says, hey, the toys is not going to be called Alligator Alcatraz. That's not how trademark works. If they're filing for a trademark on Carmex, or for the term Carmex for lip balm or whatever the case may be, but then they don't call it Carmex, that defeats the purpose of a trademark. The trademark is a source identifier. It's to let people know who's the source of the goods and services. So if you go down the street and you see Golden Arches, McDonald's, you know that that's a McDonald's store. It doesn't make sense for you to file a trademark on the term Alligator Alcatraz, then for toys, then don't call the toys Alligator Alcatraz. That's not, number one, that's not how trademark law works. Number two, your trademark can be abandoned as a result of that's what you're doing. So, and the fact that he said that on the news, again, that's a big problem, a big red flag, because I can see that hurting them later down the line. You do not want to file for trademark protection on something, and then don't call that something, whether it's toys, whether it's shirts. Again, the peace, love, intellectual property. I have a trademark application pending on this shirt. Now, if I trademark that for shirts and then I call my shirt something else, that's defeating the purpose, number one, of the trademark, and that's not using a trademark in commerce as a source identifier. So I don't know what's going to happen, but the gentleman, I guess on one side, I'm saying kudos to him, good job for filing a trademark application, because too many of us we're not even in the game to talk about. But on the other side of it, seems like I don't know who he got his legal counsel from, but it was bad legal counsel or his legal information from, because that's not how you deal with trademarks. If you file for a trademark on something, you have to use that trademark name on the goods or services that you filed for. So the fact that he's saying he's not going to call it trademark, he's not going to call the toys Alligator Alcatraz, that's kind of a problem. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section as we move on to the next subject. I thought that was a good one kind of to talk about. Let's move on here. Your boy Tyler Perry. Seems like Tyler Perry lost a lawsuit. Matter of fact, no, before I get to Tyler Perry, let me go to the interview of the week. I typically try to do those earlier. Thompson Tee. And this was a Shark Tank product. So Billy Thompson, while the interview just dropped this past week, so go check out that interview. He created a sweat-proof shirt. A lot of times you guys are sweating and it kind of leaving that yellow stain on the shirt. And he essentially got tired of that and created a shirt that has this layer technology to prevent that. So let's go check out what Billy is saying about his product. The interview just dropped this week, so go check out the interview, but let's check out what he said, and then I'm going to give you guys what I think. Let's go. Make sure I have this on 2x. Okay, it's on normal speed. Let's go.
A person like that believes in the product and is willing to entertain investing in the product, I just hit the ground running. And so I just started doing it. And then at some point I realized, okay, I can't keep doing my full-time job. I need to shift 100% to getting this business off the ground. Now, ultimately, like a lot of investors, this is another thing, people need to understand. It doesn't matter who you are. I don't care if you're Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, or, whoever. It takes a lot to raise money. So don't get discouraged by hearing, 100 no's, right? I mean, that's typical. You're going to hear no's, 10x the amount of time you're going to hear yeses. So ultimately, he didn't invest. But at that point, I was so far into the process that there was no turning back.
So again, what Billy was talking about, and again, part of what I'm trying to do when I have these lives is kind of get you guys calloused up to be used to being told no. He was talking about how he heard a ton of no's at the beginning, and eventually he started hearing the yeses, and now Billy Thompson and Thompson Tee, I think they do like $10 million in annual revenue in shirts. They've been around, I think, since 2012, so a little bit over 10 years, and they do like $10 million annual revenue selling T-shirts with their layer technology that has a patent on it. So, shouts out to Billy Thompson. I thought, again, the fact that he's telling you that you're going to hear the word no, I think that's something that I hear consistently from everybody who I interview of, hey, you're going to hear the word no, so get used to it. Then number two, and I think this is more important, do not try to go like, okay, I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to just start the business from the beginning. No, do both of them. You're going to have to double dutch that thing, man. You're going to have to work your job, but then you have to go home and put in a couple hours every day or whatever the case may be until you get things built up to the point where you can quit your job full time. In a way, the way they are doing you these days, you don't got a lot of time because it seems like them layoffs and stuff is coming down the pipeline left and right. So again, we all got ideas. If it was, the ebook, and I have to go plug the ebook, Got IP, go check out that. That link is on the website and should be in the description too. But the number one thing, and this is in the ebook, but the number one thing that I get when I tell people I'm a patent attorney is I have an idea. Everybody has an idea, whether it's for a product that you're selling or a service that you're trying to start. And I'm trying to tell people, as Kevin O'Leary and Dave Ramsey was saying earlier, hey man, it's time to kind of really start to those ideas. And these days you can have power AI to kind of really get you 90% of the way there as it relates to your business. And then you put that extra 5-10% on it. The next thing you know, you got a business that's making $10 million a year. I'm not saying that it's going to happen overnight. I'm not saying that you should quit your job from the beginning and do it. But I'm saying if you keep going and you kind of do it strategically in the right way and you protect that intellectual property, you will be good in the long run. So he has a patent on his shirt, and then he has a trademark on the term Thompson Tee. So again, Billy Thompson, go check out that video. That full interview came out this week. We got another good one that's coming out this week. But in the meantime, go check out both of those videos as we move on to the next topic. Your boy Tyler Perry. Let's see if I can pull up this article that came down the pipeline. Tyler Perry ended up losing a lawsuit, man. I'm not a huge Tyler Perry fan, but I definitely respect the hustle of what he's doing. And it seems like, and this is from Yahoo Entertainment that just came out, Tyler Perry Studios. Let me know in the comment section, have you guys seen his Netflix show called She the People? I guess it's called Miss Governor now. And that name change is as a result of him being hit up for trademark infringement. Now, I did a full breakdown on this topic, in another video, so go check out that. But I did want to kind of give it more of a quick hit, where it is a nonprofit company in Mississippi that is She the People, and it's a woman that owns it. She has the trademark for it. She's dealing with podcasts and insurance and kind of helping people a lot of different things. And it seems like the Mississippi woman who owns the trademark for She the People worked with Levita. She gonna always be the Levita for me. I think her real name is Terry to the right in this picture. In both pictures, I should say. But it seems like she's the star of the show, now called Miss Governor on Netflix, formerly She the People. And it seems like they kind of worked together way back in the day. Tyler Perry, Netflix, they came out with the show that was originally called She the People. It's more of a political show. And the nonprofit lady in Mississippi slapped Tyler Perry, Netflix, and I think her name, Terry, is the lady's name to the right, hit him with a trademark lawsuit. And you would think Netflix, Tyler Perry, you would think that there's no way that this lady is going to win this one. However, she has won her lawsuit versus Tyler Perry, and now the show is called, as I have in my banner, Miss Governor. So the whole point, I think, of that topic that I wanted to show you guys is, number one, I want you guys to start these businesses. My real goal for this is in 5 years, in 10 years, for people to start coming up to me and like, hey, man, I watched your show back in the day. You encouraged me to start a business, protect my intellectual property, and now I've changed family generations as a result of my company making millions of dollars. That's really kind of a long-term play for me with this stuff. And a lot of times I hear people say, hey, it's a big guy, we can't beat them because it's a Netflix or a Google we're going up against. You saw the energy drink startup company last week that went up against Ferrari and won. And this is another example of it, with a nonprofit lady going up against Netflix, Tyler Perry, those behemoths, and still winning her trademark infringement lawsuit, forcing Tyler Perry to change the name of his show from She the People to Miss Governor. So I did want to bring up that. I thought that was interesting and worth talking about as we move on to the next topic, which again, I think is another interesting topic. This is charge stations. Now, man, I have an affinity for charge station, number one, because I drafted a lot of patent applications for charge stations for my day job. So I like it. And then actually, to be honest with you guys, I have a company that I own a nice percentage of, and it's putting charge stations down on hotels. So I kind of do have an affinity for charge stations, and charge stations is something that I have in my portfolio that's making me money. So I do want to kind of talk about that. And StoreDot is the name of the company that has patented a battery, let's just say electric vehicle battery, that allows you to get, I want to kind of change the view on this, that allows you to get, to be able to charge up your vehicle. So one of the biggest gripes that you hear people that's talking about, charge stations is they talk about the amount of time. They say, hey, look, man, I can take my Corolla or whatever, my gas powered vehicle, and I can go up to a gas pump and I can have a full tank in 5 minutes. And with the charge station, now it's different types of charges, but with the fastest charge stations currently, which is offered by Tesla, the DCFC, which is the fast charger, they're going to get you essentially an 80% to a full charge in 20-25 minutes. So it's not as fast as you going to fill up your gasoline vehicle at the pump. But if there's one thing I know about technology and entrepreneurship in the US, is it's going to continue to evolve and get better. So now StoreDot, and the article talks about it. Like I said, I did a full video breakdown on it, so go check out that. They have just patented some technology that allows people to, because again, you can charge the vehicle faster or charge the battery faster, but over time, that's ultimately going to damage the vehicle. So typically, vehicles get like 10 years of life. And if you continue to kind of push that power into them, in layman's terms, if you kind of push the power into them quickly, that over time damages the vehicle. However, that's why it takes on a good end 20 to 25 minutes to charge up a vehicle. However, this technology from StoreDots allows you to charge up your charger to get 400 or 500 miles of charge range or mile range in only like 5 minutes. So again, that technology is getting better by the day, by the year. And again, shouts out to patents and IP as a result of it. I'm not even sure what StoreDot is, but it seems like they're building their moat and their company around IP, intellectual property, patents. I think they have a trademark on the name StoreDot. So I'm telling you, this IP, to the extent that you have an ideal and it's a good ideal and you continue to kind of work on the ideal and vet it out, hey man, you can look up and next thing you know, you got a multi-million-dollar company. And sometimes I would imagine the bigger companies such as Tesla, whatever the case may be, Shell, whatever, they a lot of times buy those companies or the IP portfolios from those smaller companies. So I'm going to keep you guys on the lookout for this, but I wouldn't be surprised if StoreDot end up getting bought out by a bigger company as time goes on. So got to be on the lookout for that. Let me know what you guys think about that as we get off into the final subject of the day. I'm going to go watch some baseball after this. Go have me a good stogie and watch some baseball. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. But the final topic, and this is another reason why America is the greatest country on earth. And this lawsuit is going to facilitate or is going to illustrate or underscore that topic. So Disney sued a Chinese company for trademark infringement. And we're going to go through this lawsuit and we're going to go through it quickly. And this is a crazy lawsuit, but we're going to go through it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. So you have Disney Enterprises. I'm actually taking my daughter on a Disney cruise. She doesn't know. She's been asking me to go on a Disney cruise all summer. So I'm taking on a Disney cruise in August. So that should be fun. So they're suing a Chinese company, Red Earth Group Limited, that's DBA, doing business as Sator. Let me know if you guys have bought anything from Sator. Let me know if it's one of these Sheen companies or whatever the case may be. So Disney, Mickey, and Mickey Mouse word and device marks are among the most famous marks in the world. I would probably agree with that one. Defendant Red Earth Group Limited is unlawfully trading on that consumer goodwill and misleading customers for his own commercial gain. So now keep in mind that this is a Chinese company. Red Earth Group is not and never has been authorized to use Disney's Mickey Mouse trademarks in any way. So again, the whole point of IP, intellectual property, is, again, you have to get authorization from the owner to be able to use it, whether it's trademarks, whether it's copyrights, whether it's patents. In this case, Disney's the Mickey Mouse logo as well. As well as the logo is protected not only by copyright, but also by trademark. And to the extent that somebody wants to create jewelry or merchandise bearing the Mickey Mouse logos or whatever Disney logos or marks, you have to get authorization from Disney to do so. Seems like Red Earth Group in this case hasn't done that. Nevertheless, Red Earth Group has chosen to appropriate Disney Mickey Mouse trademarks to market cheap. You guys have to let me know if you guys have some stuff from Sator and whether or not that's similar to Sheen. Imitation diamond jewelry through an online storefront that Red Earth Group operates under the name Sator Paris. The Sator website sells more than a half dozen pieces of Mickey Mouse themed jewelry, and Red Earth Group marketing and packaging is replete with substantial unauthorized use. So it seems like this is some of the jewelry that they are using illegally. Let's call it what it is. It's illegal. But the name is Sator. This poses a significant problem, not just for Disney, but for its licensees and consumers in the market. Disney maintains a substantial licensing program through which authorizes, and it was a part that I wanted to get to early on that I typically don't talk about. Was it jurisdiction and venue? Okay, this is it for the defendant. Defendant Red Earth Group owns and operates Sator.com, an online retail sales website that markets, sells, and distributes low-price jewelry. Look at that's a jab. They saying it's a low-price jewelry with lab-grown diamonds. So they ain't using the stuff that's dug up in Africa. They're using that the lab-grown stuff. Hopefully, anybody watching this haven't got any jewelry from Sator. According to Disney, or allegedly, they using lab-grown diamonds. They growing y'all diamonds in a lab. They're not using the real stuff that's from Africa, that's from underneath the earth. Sator is not a standalone company, but rather a trademark of Red Earth Group. The Sator website falsely claims that Sator is a registered mark in the U.S. And this is the big problem. This is the big problem. This how the Chinese steals. This is why people wanted Trump to do something with China, not just with regards to tariffs, but also forcing them to play by the rules. You have a Chinese company that is using, let me see if I can pull up their website, because this is an important part that they're talking about in a lawsuit. This is a very important part, so stay with me on this one. Please stay with me on this one. So check out their website. They're using, and I actually verified this, so this is true what Disney is alleging. You see, and on the website, God dang it, technology, boy. Let me pull this up here. You see on the website, if you look closely, they have an R at the end of the circle. You see the name Sator, and at the end of Sator, they have an R at the in the circle, which pretty much is saying they have a trademark on the term Sator. However, they do not have a trademark. That's how the Chinese lie, steal, and cheat take your intellectual property. They're telling people on their website that the name Sator is a registered trademark term. They're using it in the R in the circle. And when you look at, when you kind of do a deep dive and look at the trademark, at least the U.S. trademark database, they do not have a trademark on the term Sator. Maybe I'm pronouncing that wrong, but like I said, that's the way that the Chinese is stealing. They are literally telling you guys that they have a trademark, even though they don't have a trademark on the term Sator. So, and again, Disney pointed that out in a lawsuit. So let's get back to the lawsuit, see what else it says here. And I want y'all to be, as we're going through these pictures, let me know, do you think that Disney is kind of, getting ahead of themselves and it's not trademark infringement? Or do you think Disney has a valid claim for trademark infringement against Sator for selling lab-grown diamonds, as they call it? Disney owns a Mickey Mouse trademark, which includes a number of different things I'm not going to go off into. These are some of the things that Disney has a trademark on. The term Mickey Mouse, the word Mickey Mouse. Hey, they got a term on the Mickey head with the ears for that logo. And obviously, they have a trademark on the actual Mickey Mouse character that you see far right there. Disney also owns common law trademark and trade dress rights of Mickey Mouse. Yep. And these are some of the more trademarks that Disney has. You can see, like I said, Disney also has a copyright on Mickey Mouse, which you see that's C in a circle. So one of the cool things about logos is that you can both have a copyright because it's a 2D artwork, but you can also have a trademark on it because it is a 3D picture or logo. But to be able to trademark something, you have to be using it as a source identifier. Clearly, Disney is using Mickey Mouse as a source identifier. So again, but they do have a number of trademarks. As a result of the widespread advertising and sales, pretty much saying that, hey man, this is a famous mark. See some of the jewelry. So Mickey Mouse sells jewelry as well, or Disney sells jewelry. Apparently, Disney's jewelry is a little bit more authentic compared to Sator that has the lab-grown stuff. You see the ring here. I'm not sure what these are. The earrings seems like a Mickey. See the necklace. And another necklace here, Mickey Mouse. This is sold by actual Disney or authorized. Seems like Bradford Exchange is selling this ring. The Disney store is selling these earrings. And then it seems like Macy and K Jewelers is selling these necklaces at the bottom, which are authorized merchandising and licensing of Disney. Let's go to hear a little bit more about the business model of Red Earth Group. The Sator website purports to sell smart luxury jewelry at 1% the price of real diamond. Look it. If somebody is selling you guys jewelry at 1% the price of real jewelry, it's probably fake. And to the extent that you guys are still buying this stuff, I'm not sure what to say, but I don't know. 1% the price of the real diamond jewelry. That's crazy. For most pieces, a consumer may choose between lab-grown Sator stone or a Sator gem stone, which it describes as trademark diamonds simulant. I'm not sure what that is, developed by Sator. Although the Sator website lists several global offices, at least one in the United States, it seems like they have no retail showroom. So they throwing a little dig at Sator or Red Earth Group. Let me get down to the pictures here, man. I like looking at pictures. They say the picture is worth 1,000 words. So this is some of the Sator rings here. See that nice lab-grown diamond with the Mickey Mouse on there? Side view of that as well. This one has a lot of pictures, so I'm gonna go through the pictures here. I'm not sure what this is. This is an outer packaging, so it seems like this is some of the packaging of the jewelry. See, hey, it's littered with Mickey Mouse, which is again not a good thing for Sator. Obviously, it has a Sator mark on there. And again, this is, hey man, why Chinese companies people don't like China companies because they steal, they cheat, they take the intellectual property, which effectively is taking money out of Disney's pockets as well as American companies. So, but to the extent that the shoe is on the other foot, you can't go to China and sue a Chinese company. However, you can come to the Chinese company can come to America and sue the Disneys, the small companies, the big companies for IP infringement. Which something about that seems a little bit off to me personally, but that's why a lot of people have trouble with Chinese companies. So, in addition to the Mickey 1928 collection, so that's how Mickey looked back in the day. A pendant necklace featuring an artificial gemstone and a Steamboat Willie charm where the character is depicted in a forward-facing stance and wearing a baseball cap. So they got Steamboat Willie, which if you know the copyright to Steamboat Willie had expired, I think last year, a couple years ago. However, Mickey Mouse or Disney still has a trademark on Steamboat Willie. Like I said, you can get both a copyright and a trademark on logos. And I actually did a video like a year or so on my program that talked about all these videos that saying that you can use Steamboat Willie because that copyright expired. You're still probably going to be on the hook for trademark infringement from Disney. So hopefully you guys weren't using it. But it seems like Sator, they got some chains with the lab-grown diamond to the left of it, bearing the Steamboat Willie trademark. And they essentially got sued by Disney. So like packaging of the Mickey 1928 collection packaging for the Voyager necklace makes substantial use of the Mickey Mouse trademarks. The outer box is decorated or littered with the full body image of Mickey Mouse and is stamped with the phrase 1928 Mickey Voyager. In addition to the Voyager, each box also contains a certificate of authenticity. So they lying to y'all. They say, hey, this certified authentic. That's not the case. So, here's some old trademarks that they're infringing on. Go to the, this is at the website that they took pictures of. And the Chinese company so cold, a lot of the times when somebody gets sued for trademark infringement, to the extent that they're doing something they don't supposed to do, they would take that stuff down because they know the lawsuit is coming down the pipeline. If you go to the Sator website and type in Mickey Mouse, the Chinese company still got this stuff up. So that's kind of a big FU or, kind of sending a middle finger to Disney, really to the American system, based on what they're doing. So if you go to the Sator website right now and type in Mickey, they still got their Mickey Mouse collection for you guys to purchase, even though they're currently being sued by Disney. And there's going to be people that buy it because they want that 1% discount. They want to buy something 1% of the original price, which I don't get, but whatever. Red Earth Group also frequently promotes its infringing Sator Mickey jewelry on the Sator sale page, which appears to change with the season. But so it seems like they're doing this year round. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section as we're going through this. Look, they got the $50 discount. They got the $100 discount. You can buy it for the low. That's true, but it's not the real thing. Let's kind of finish off with this here. Then we're going to get you guys up out of here. Coming up on in 50 minutes. Red Earth Group's marketing and packaging on this infringing Sator Mickey jewelry infringes the trademark rights in order to profit of Disney's IP and positive brand associations. Red Earth Group uses confusingly similar versions of Disney's Mickey Mouse trademarks throughout its marketing and product packaging material in a manner that is likely to confuse consumers. This is essentially Disney's marks to the left, and this is what Sator is using to the right. So you got the Mickey Mouse, Mickey and Friends. They're using that Mickey 1928, Mickey Voyager. Anytime you use Mickey Mouse, you're pretty much going to be infringing. You see the Mickey Mouse trademarks to the left of Disney, the official ones. Then you got Mickey the jeweler, that's from Sator to the right. So they infringing their left and right. Seems like they got a Disney and Gucci. Hey man, sometimes people will take this stuff a little too far. Seems like you can buy a Disney or a Gucci sweater that's, I guess, a Mickey Mouse theme from Sator. That's crazy. Red Earth Group also uses Disney's Mickey Mouse device marks across its marketing and product packaging materials. This unauthorized use is also infringement. Yeah, man, it's pretty much just kind of littered. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. All this is trademark infringement. You're never going to get away with this. A little bit more. This is on a post. They got and the earrings is sweet with the lab grown diamonds. It's sweet, but it's just trademark infringement. A lot of pictures in this one again. The pendants, the necklaces, they do look sweet. What they say here in their seems like their Twitter or the IG post, elevate your style with the Sator Mickey 1928 collection. Disney charm meets modern luxury. A lot of times people will call this stuff out in the comment section. It seems like they didn't though this time around. So, man, that's pretty much it, man. I think we get the point. Hey, they are infringing Disney's trademarks. They're probably going to lose, but again, it's a Chinese company. What do you expect from them? That's what they do. They like steal and chill, steal and cheat. So kind of be on the lookout for that. But the whole part of this show, again, is really American Dream. The American Dream is alive and well. And as you heard from Dave Ramsey as well as Kevin O'Leary, I think it is a correction, especially with the loss of the layoff, which is an unfortunate thing because I always want people to be able to feed their family. However, I do think that this is going to push people to start businesses, which I think is a good thing. To the extent that you start that business, make sure you're protecting the intellectual property, whether it's trademarks, patents, and copyrights. And again, understand, hopefully you guys have a slow progression in it. And to the extent that somebody's telling you, whether it's funny or kind of getting them something that you need done, hey, do not be deterred from that. Continue to push through. And look it, man, hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. As I talked about earlier, go check out the shirts. Go purchase the shirts. Peace, love, intellectual property. Go purchase the ebook. Take a look at the earlier videos. And yeah, man, I think we had a good show today. We were over 50 minutes. So hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening. And I'll catch you guys next Sunday. You guys take care. Peace.